Hello everyone, today our topic is using the linear programming approach to maximize the profit for the BMW company. Let me introduce the content first. Our presentation includes four parts. Part 1 is introduction. Part 2 is literature review. Part 3 is mathematical programming model. Part 4 is managerial and theoretical contributions. Here goes the introduction first. BMW is a well-known automobile company which established in 1916. As you can see from the figure, according to the fragment of OICA correspondence service back to 2015, BMW has already become world's 12th largest producer of motor vehicles, with over 2 million vehicles produced. However, according to the financial report of BMW 2019, we found that the profit of BMW has declined in recent years. If BMW wants to maintain its leading position in its industry, BMW needs to take certain measures to maintain its core competitiveness. There is a simple formula in economic is that total profit equals to the total revenue minus the cost, which means if BMW want to maximize their profit, minimizing its production cost is an important step. Based on this series, our assignment using the linear programming model to reasonably allocate the BMW's production in order to achieve the maximizing the profits. In order to make the obtained results more accurate and close to reality, we have set constraints such as production volume, customer demand, and brand image. We will show our key method and corresponding implementation of Excel, including sensitivity analysis. Also, we will reflect on our conclusion and give some reasonable suggestions for BMW company. Okay, let's move on to next part, the literature review. Based on our research, we can say that linear programming models are widely used in business problems. Its sense is how to allocate limited resources to get the best result. Reasonable modeling and seeking solutions can optimize the enterprise problems. For companies, the limited resource may be reflected in personnel, materials, and funds. Here comes two examples of the optimized allocations of limited resource. First is the supply chain management. Specific speaking, effectively integrating production and distribution plans into an on-file framework, distributing production between different production lines of manufacturing plants, which optimize the production and distribution planning issue on supply chain systems. Next is human resource management. Easily speaking, it is using shift model to consider the task of labor planning to reduce the human resource cost. However, in the literature on the automotive industry, there are very few literature that use linear programming to discuss how to reasonably plan the production of various cars model in various regions. The establishment of such model requires the use of many companies' undisclosed data, may be the reason of it. Okay, go to the next part.
And this part is about the mathematical programming model. In the methodology part, firstly, we need to define the optimization problem. This report used the method of linear programming to analyze the production line layout in different countries of the BMW. And based on this formula, to find the maximum profit, we need to find the minimum production cost. And this is our decision variables. Cij represents the cost of produced car of I series in J region, and Xij defines the number of cars of I series and produced in J region. Here, the cost of production is decided according to the selling price of the cars and the price level index of each country. And the objective function is shown below. And next step is to identify the constraints. We divide a constraint into the following types. The percentage we used in identifying the constraints are based on the selling or production data in BMW 2019 financial report. And then is the implementation in Excel software. We classify the car types into small and medium cars, large cars, and so on. And the optimal solution is shown in this table. The minimum cost is 30.816 billion with total production of 1,957,000 cars. The more the small and medium cars together with the large cars, the lower the total production cost is. And on the contrary, the luxury and new energy cars hold the opposite trend due to the high production cost. As for the region, India and China have the lowest production price, with the number of productions reaching the limit of 30% of the total production. And Japan, the United States, Germany, and the United Kingdom have less car production due to the production cost disadvantage. Also, we can estimate the revenue, which is US dollar 52.9 1.605 billion, using the average selling price of each segment of cars in 2019 and multiplied by the average actual selling quantity of different car segments in 2019. And then we can get the total profit by subtracting R&D cost and advertising investment cost, which is the average investment from 2015 to 2019. And compare with the actual gross profit in BMW 2019 financial report, the gross profit improved slightly after optimization. It shows that adjusting the industrial production's geographical distribution has a positive effect on improving the company's profits.
Okay, let's move on to the sensitivity analysis part. At this part, there are 3 ways to analyze the sensitivity. First part is to analyze the sensitivity report. We get the sensitivity report from the Excel solver, but we found that due to the integer constraint, that the sensitivity report cannot be used in our analysis. So we move on to the second attempt that increase the production cost of the exclusive car by 10%. After that, we can say that the production structure has changed in both regions and series. That is to say, there is little or no elastic for the region like the United States, China, India, Germany, and others, as well as a series of the new energy car and the luxury cars, because they reached the limit with no gradient. Under this conclusion, we carried the third attempt that increased the production cost of the luxury car by 10%. And the results suggest that there is no significant change to the BMW's global car layout, which can be seen as evidence got in the attempt 2, that the luxury car and the new energy car together with some region reached the limit. There is no gradient. That's all of our sensitivity analysis part. Let's move on to the part 4. Oh,
now we will
let's watch the steps that we used in the Excel. As we can see in the demo, there is a car production from the past, and here is the price of each series and the regions, and there are our limitations for the cars. And this is our limitation implement. This is the result, and together with the variable Excel. We get the solution with the sensitivity report and the exclusion report. As we can see, the result is here. And this is our sensitivity report. Okay, that's all of our sensitivity analysis part. Let's move on to the part 4.
Now we will talk about advantages, disadvantages, and suggestions for our model. The most significant advantage in our model is that we do analysis based on the actual detailed data. In this way, we can assure the meaningful of our numbers used. Secondly, we also take into account the brand positioning of BMW. We recognize the premium and control the delivery quantity of the luxury car models. There are also some obvious disadvantages due to unavailable production costs and the fact that we use pure quantified model. Firstly, we estimate our cost arbitrarily. Since BMW is a high-end brand, the pricing approach is probably more close to a market-based approach than a cost-based one. Secondly, we fail to consider some other possible factors, such as when we calculating the region distribution. We fail to consider some other possible factors when calculating region distribution, such as the different consumption tendency and taxation policies in different districts and countries. Thirdly, we fail to consider the expertise and technology factors when calculating production. So the production will tend to be concentrated in low-cost countries. Now let my partner talk about the suggestions.
Okay, in conclusion, after combining with the results of the optimal solution and sensitivity analysis, we provide recommendations for the company and the further LP model analysis. First, in terms of advice to management, because the production layout is not sensitive to cost increase. In order to improve sales, the company can increase the investment in product design and development. In this way, BMW can improve the product competitiveness and maintain the brand advantage. What's more, from a production line layout perspective, the company should pay attention to key models in key regions. For example, more resources should be devoted to executive cars in China, while in Europe, focus should be placed on small and medium cars. Second, in terms of advice for the model, in the further analysis, two aspects can be improved. One is that constraints can be further refined by region and vehicle type. The other is that the relationship between price, production, and sales deserves further analysis. And these are references we used. That's the end. Thank you.